What's up, sports fans? Back on the channel, and today we're going to be ranking the starting small forwards in the NBA. Now, I should have updated everybody. I've done point guards and shooting guards. If you haven't seen those videos, be sure to check those out. I should have updated everybody when I was doing those videos that when I rank these videos, I actually rank them before I create the video. Outside of changing a few things mid-video. For example, with Bogdanovich, I'd go C or D tier. I haven't really made up my mind yet. So I would just throw him somewhere, wherever he might be thrown. That's where I'd put him. So I'll make a few changes in video and kind of make up my mind that way. But a lot of what I do, I've already considered and thought about in my head. So let's just get it started with all that out of the way. Starting with Trevor Ariza. You know, he was a really good player with the Houston Rockets. He's a lot older now, though. If you didn't know, he came out, I think the class after LeBron he came out, or maybe a couple classes after. It was either 2004 or 2005 he came out. So he is a little bit of an older player, guys. This is his 13th or 14th season in the league. And he's good. He's still good 3 and D wise, but outside of that, there's not much he can do in my eyes. So I'm going to throw him in D tier. Andrew Wiggins, one really underrated player, I believe, personally. Give me a second. I'm just going to make sure the music's up loud enough. I thought I'd get a little bit of drop back music or background music in the video just so it wasn't super boring. Anyways, Andrew Wiggins, I think, is a really underrated player, and I think we're going to see that. We're going to see what he can be and what he's going to become with the Warriors. I think that the Warriors are going to unlock a new Andrew Wiggins. I genuinely think that's going to happen, and I'm really excited to see it happen. I think he's going to blend in perfectly with Steph and Clay. As long as he understands his role, which not everybody can do, and as long as he works hard, which not everybody does, he's going to be a really good player, I think, man. So I'm going to put him in C tier for now. But I'm hoping within the next 4 or 5 years to maybe move him up a couple tiers. Not a couple, but move him up to B tier, hopefully. Harrison Barnes. Throw him in D tier. There's nothing special about him. Not much for me to say about him, except he seems to keep getting really, really hefty contracts. I mean, he was getting overpaid with the Dallas Mavericks. Now he's in Sacramento making even more money. I mean, how is he making so much money? Speaking of bad contracts, let's just throw Nick Batum in F tier. I mean, let's just do it. The guy's making $24 million a year to average, what? 7 points a game, 3 assists, a board. Like, what the hell does he do nowadays? He used to be good the first couple years he was with the Hornets, and with the Trailblazers, he was good. I understand as well that the reason he got paid so much money is because that TV deal was going on the year that he got his contract. I get it, all right? I get why he's overpaid. I still can't justify it. It's absolutely ridiculous. $24 million a year for this piece of crud. I'm sorry. It's a terrible, terrible contract. And it's something that the Hornets just keep seeming to do. With Terry Rozier as the newest one. I mean, $20 million a year for 3 years, at least it's not as bad. It's not as long of a commitment. It's not only that they gave this guy $24 million a year. It's that they did it for 5 years. So you put yourself in a stalemate by paying him that much for that long. It just makes no sense. Moving on, this guy. As always, if I don't know who they are or if they're not a good player, I'm throwing them in F tier. Just throwing that guy in F tier. Moving on to Jimmy Butler. Outside of LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard, I don't know if anybody on this list, and even Kevin Durant, outside of those three, I don't know if anybody on this list works as hard as Jimmy Butler. This guy works his ass off, bro. And it's really an inspiration because it's something I'm really trying to do with YouTube. And I'm going to be getting a lot more videos out, guys, now that I have now that I have my PC. So please stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. I'm just going to be ripping videos out left and right. especially with the coronavirus going on. But yeah, he's an inspiration, man. I mean, he came out of Marquette. He wasn't getting paid a lot. Nobody really knew who he was. He was really known for defense coming into the league. And he's completely metamorphosized his game. I mean, he's completely changed it. He can get a bucket from anywhere now. He's an absolute leader in the locker room. He works his ass off. I love me some Jimmy Butler. Moving on to Cedi Osman. Now, I'm gonna move on a little bit quicker through these players just because I don't want this list or this video to be too long. Moving on through Cedi Osman, I'm throwing him in F tier. There's nothing special about him. DeMarre Carroll, he's an F tier player as well. Same thing with Trevor Ariza. Actually, I'll give DeMarre Carroll D tier. Thing is, he's a little older, but he's still a suitable player, I guess. He can play. He's a body. He can play some defense. DeMar DeRozan, I'm going to give you C tier for now. You're not quite what you used to be with the Raptors, but he's still a solid player, borderline all-star player. Of course, in the West, it's a lot harder to be an all-star, but moving on to Danilo Gallinari, same type of deal, borderline all-star player. He has been that way for years, it feels like, which is really unfortunate. He's kind of in the same boat as a Drew Holiday, or even a I guess DeMar wasn't when he was in the East. But he's kind of in the same boat as a Drew Holiday, where he's a really good player, and he absolutely does more than getting the job done at the position. He's fantastic, but he just can't quite get into the all-star game because there's better players than him. So, there's just better players at the position, and it's that simple. And that's what it comes down to a lot of times. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is. Boban Bogdanovic, I hope I'm saying the first name right. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's either the beginning of D, he's either the best of D tier or the worst of C tier. And it's really hard, man. It is really hard. I still haven't made my mind up on this. I think I'm going to give him lower range C tier. Because Utah looks really good, and I can't justify giving him anything higher than that, of course. But I also think I'd be doing him a little dirty by throwing him in D. So I'm going to give him C tier. This guy, don't know who the hell he is. Throwing him in F. House, I know who you are, but you're not very good now, are you? So I'm going to throw you in F as well. Joe Ingles, not a very good player either, but the thing is, he's a big body, and he can shoot the three, which is big in today's league, so I'm going to throw him in D tier for those reasons. Jonathan Isaac, a good, young, up-and-coming player. I want to throw him in C, but I can't quite do that yet, so I'm going to put him in D tier for now, but I do think he's a young, up-and-coming player that can really put himself higher in the pecking order. Josh Richardson. I thought you were a lot better when you were with Miami, to be quite honest with you. You aren't quite what I thought you were with the 76ers. You haven't been what I thought you were. Can shoot the three ball a little bit. Has a little bit of an offensive game. He's really good on defense, don't get me wrong. But there's just nothing special about him. He's kind of a bland player in my eyes. I hate to say it like that, but that's how I feel about him. So, moving on to Jason Tatum, I think one of the best young and up-and-coming players in the league. I've been saying it for a while. He's gonna be a superstar. God, Alright, this gets me twisted every time I say it. I really wish the Lakers would have picked him over Lonzo Ball. Because that team, man, LeBron would be getting these rings! He's still gonna get these rings, but he'd really be getting these rings then. Yeah, man, Jason Tatum, bro. Really, really lockdown defender. Can get his own shot. Can get to the rim. Can facilitate as well. I mean, what can he not do at such a young age? He's only 21, man. I think he's 21 years old. It's 20 or 21. I mean, he's really young, dude. He's going to be a great player, man. We're talking about a guy who's 6 years away from even being in his prime. I mean, that's incredible to me. I think he's going to be a really good player. Moving on to this guy, not can't quite remember who he is just off of the face. I'm going to throw him an F tier for that reason. Kawhi Leonard, let's give you D tier. Moving on. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Everybody relax. I know I'm not the biggest Kawhi fan, but he's definitely an A tier player. Needless to say, he won Finals MVP last year. I get that if Kevin Durant was in the finals, the whole thing's different. Don't get me wrong. It's a really cheap ring in my eyes. It's bullshit to me. But whatever. You understand the 2 rings Kawhi Leonard has are one with the Spurs dynasty, and he got Finals MVP both times. It sounds so much better on paper than it actually is. But one is with the Spurs dynasty, and the other ring he has is against the Golden State Warriors, who were completely depleted in every way. I mean, no Iguodala, no Kevon Looney, no Kevin Durant, no Klay Thompson. It's incredible how many of their guys got injured. Why couldn't that have happened against the Cavs? Why couldn't that have happened against the Cavs? I don't know. Let's move on. Kevin Durant, A-tier player, obviously. 6'11", 7-foot monster who can get a bucket from anywhere, plays lockdown defense, can facilitate the offense. What can the guy not do? I think once LeBron fries out, which is going to be in the next couple years in my eyes, because if he does some Tom Brady shit, he does some Tom Brady shit. I get it. I just don't see it happening. I think Kevin Durant's the guy to take the mantle as the best player in the league. And then after him, it'll probably be Giannis once Giannis gets his jump shot. But for now, it's still LeBron. But I think Kevin Durant's he's next. He's next to get the baton. Chris Middleton, you're not a B tier player, my friend. You're just not. I'm gonna give him C tier. Let me explain. He's a great player. He can shoot the 3 exceptionally. He plays good defense. He can get his own shot. I have one issue with him. And it's a pretty big issue. He seems to disappear in the playoffs. Now, I know for a fact he disappeared last year in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Toronto Raptors, where he had, I think he had 40 minutes played in every game and had under 14 points. Or under 10 points in every game. That's disgustingly bad. You cannot do that in the playoffs. And I promise you, if he does it in the playoffs this year, if the league comes back, or next time that we have an NBA playoffs, if he does that again and he disappears again, I promise you, mark my words, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's out. He's gone. He's not a Milwaukee Buck anymore. I think a lot of being a Milwaukee Buck for Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to land on what Chris Middleton is able to do in the playoffs. Because you've got what looks like a 68 to 70 win team, and you've done it all in the regular season. You just got to show up for the playoffs. If they don't make it to the finals, Giannis is gone. It doesn't matter what happens. Giannis is gone. Maybe even if they don't win it. They might have to win it. But if they don't make it, I'm pretty sure he's literally... What I heard from Stephen A. is that if the Bucks do not make the finals, Giannis Antetokounmpo is gone. So a lot of that lays on Chris Middleton, man. And I think he needs to show up this year in the playoffs. Moving on to Kevin... For that reason, I've got him in C tier. That's the reason he's not a B tier player in my eyes. Moving on to Kevin Knox. I'll give you D tier, I guess, just because you're young and there's some potential there. Outside of that, there's nothing special about you. Let's make this video quicker, guys. I got to move on through these players real quick. LeBron James. I don't really need to get into much of a rant about LeBron. I think I could talk about him for 3 hours straight. But yeah, he's the best player in the world. I mean, that's what he is. He literally, not only does he do everything that these two guys do, except he's a little bit of a better defender, he's a little bit better of a bucket getter. Not only does he do that, he's a 10 times better passer than both of them. And there's this LeBron effect, if you will, that he just kind of lifts up every other guy on the court that's on his team, it seems. They play better when LeBron's on the court. That's why the Lakers are 29th in offensive efficiency when LeBron's off the court, and second when he's on the court. Moving on to this guy who I don't know based off of the face. I'm going to throw him in F tier. Otto Porter, I believe this is. Nothing special about you. The Bulls suck. I'll give you D tier just because you're decent, I guess. Paul George, B tier player. Fantastic player. I really kudos to him for coming back after that gruesome injury back in 2014. I genuinely thought his career might be over after that. Not over to say like over, but like over as in he's just not going to be what he was. And he's what he was, if not more. So a lot of credit to him, man. He had to work his ass off to come back like that. I just want to work my ass off too, man. Moving on, let's put this guy in F tier. Not sure who he is. Tim Hardaway, I'm going to give you D tier. Teron Prince, I'll give you D tier as well. And Will Barton, I'll give you D tier as well. All right, guys. Now we're gonna rank in order A, B, and C, and then we'll be done with the video. Of course, I got LeBron number 1. I got Kevin Durant number 2, and I think if I could put a space bar here, I would, because I think there's a space between these two guys and him. I do. I think that those two guys are different than Kawhi Leonard. I think these two guys, in my opinion, by the end of their careers, are top 10 players of all time. Both of them. This guy, not quite. He's top 20. Not quite a top 10. He's top 20, top 25. You know? He's not quite a top 10 like these two. I think these two are just quite simply on a different level. Moving on to B tier. This is where it gets a little harder, doesn't it, gents? I'm going to put Paul George first for now. But I think Jason Tatum's on his ass. I think Jason Tatum's coming, man. I'm sorry. I don't know why I had to laugh like that. Obviously no homo when I say that. I think Jason Tatum's coming. I do. I think he's going to be a monster, and you're just going to see what he is. He's only 21, man. It's just incredible to me. Moving on to C tier, and then we'll be done with the video. I'm going to put Bogdanovich at the end of C tier. I'll put Danilo. I'll put, actually, DeMar right there. I'm going to put Danilo right here, Chris Middleton here, and this kid right here. I know that everybody's going to give me some stick on this. I do think that he's the best of these players. And I think that he's going to prove it within the next 4 to 5 years. I'm really excited to see what he does, man. I think he could be a really good player. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you for tuning in. If you're here for the end of the video, that's huge for me. It really does help me so much for you guys to watch the whole video. So that's why I'm trying to keep it as short as possible. I hope this was entertaining. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Please also consider subscribing and turning on post notifications. That way you're notified every time I upload. I'm going to be pushing out a lot of videos, guys, because I got the PC and I have no excuse not to at this point. Unless I have some unforeseen technical difficulties, I'm going to be pushing out a lot of videos. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time.